I hope you're ready. This is going to be exciting.
And we got car restarts up we go. Green flag is out and we're underway.
Just a few laps into this. Oh, the 37's getting loose. Oh, and he saves it. Oh, they're going 3 wide.
We've got a 5-way fight for the win of this race coming to 4 laps to go. Spectacular fashion.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Worldwide Technology Raceway, or for everybody else out there, Gateway, which would be the smartest portion of it. But thank you very much to each and every one of you for joining us here this evening. Gateway is the site of the next round of the Cruisin Classics Next Gen Series here with Goat Locker live on V-Speed. Oh, baby, hold on. This track is an absolute banger of a facility. And there is absolutely no telling what is going to happen here tonight as we get ready to get started here for the next round. Good evening, folks. I'm the redneck announcer, Jake Reeves. Got Daniel Cunningham, my good buddy, co-commentator, right beside of me. And as always, on production, Double L, Lucas Lyons, always coming out doing a stand-up job 9 ways to Sunday. Daniel, son, how are you doing, sir?
Doing good, Jake. We're getting ready to head into the off week next week. Got Gateway on the schedule tonight. Of course, even though we're on the off week next week, still got some racing stuff going on. We'll talk about a little bit later on in the broadcast, but good to be back up here with you this evening.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you're real happy to be back. I was off last week, had some stuff going on, personal stuff, with my job and everything else, but good to be back into the booth. And ready to get this bad boy going. As I mentioned a second ago, race 6, and the season has been pretty good. If we can kind of get our schedule up, let everybody know kind of where we're at. Obviously, we started Talladega, went to Homestead, Atlanta, Watkins Glen, Texas. I was not there for that, so you may have to refresh my memory on what the hell happened last week. But Gateway obviously tonight, then we're off next week like you mentioned, then we got Darlington, Daytona Road Course. And Daniel, for the folks at home that wasn't here last week, and also for me, kind of give us a little bit of a refresher of what happened last week.
Yeah, last week, and let's go ahead and take a look at our points too here, just to kind of tie back into this. See Jeremy Gardner up there at the top of that point standing. He was able to get his second win of the season, tying Cody McElwain for most so far here. Already got 2 multi-time winners already in the first 5 races here this season. You can see the boss man, Patrick Drabick, the highest of those that does not have a win. James Silvers, Tyler Justice, George Jewell, Charles Stevens, Timothy Wilms, and Dylan Canova, your top 10 in points, but even all the way down to 20th place there, Brian Provo. Only 28 points separates him from Patrick Drabick, and with all these drivers having those drop weeks to utilize, nobody out of it by any stretch as far as making the playoffs or points or anything of that nature.
Yeah, I mean, and everybody's trying to go all the way to November 5th. Obviously, that is Dover, but that will basically get it down to the nitty-gritty and get it down to the point of where the playoffs will start. So that's going to be an interesting little tidbit, something we'll be checking out for here very, very later on, I guess you could say as well. So I think it's November 1st. Lucas Lyons over there, he might have got himself lost. Hell, I might have got lost too. I might have been thinking of something else. But anyway, kind of give us a little bit of a track idea, Daniel, for the folks at home of Gateway. And I mean, this place is very different. It is very, very different.
Yeah, it's really kind of a peculiar racetrack. It's an egg-shaped oval, as you can see there. 1 and 2, a lot more sweeping turns compared to 3 and 4. It's 1.25 miles, so it's not quite an intermediate. It's not quite a short track either, even though they do run just like the regular intermediate package on these cars here. 11 degrees of banking in turns 1 and 2, just 9 degrees of banking in turns 3 and 4. Let's also take a quick look at our race details here this evening. 100 laps on the docket, 45-mile-an-hour pit road speed. Kind of got an interesting entry to pit road here as well. 3 sets of tires in the pits, 2 green-white checker attempts if we need them. Running full fuel, should be about 70 to 75 laps on a full tank of fuel, so easily a one-stop race for these guys here tonight.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I mean, and anybody that knows anything about, NASCAR, for that matter, obviously, you got to think about this place is obviously the place where the whole Denny Hamlin and Ross Chastain deal kind of started. Obviously, I'm a big Ross fan. I kind of like Denny a little bit. Denny likes to speak his mind, and he doesn't really give a damn, and I'm all for that as well. But I mean, that is where all of this originated. This is where everything started. This is where that whole beef started, and eventually they finally had to come to Jesus meet, and eventually got everything straightened out, and finally just said, you know what? Screw it. We're over it. Game over. It is what it is. And for the moment now, we're ready to rock and roll. We got the grid lined up for you here tonight, and Jam Printing Promotions, obviously the Pole Award winner. How about that? You can't make this up. Point leader, Big Daddy G, Jeremy Gardner in the house with the Pole Award. And since forming in 2013, Jam has contributed printing and promotional sponsorships to more than 60 local nonprofits with a primary focus on organizations that assist veterans, women, and children. They have been with Goat Locker Racing since the very beginning, local and veteran certified. When they do well, they do good in the community. So thank you very much to Jam Printing Promotions for all that they do here with Goat Locker. And for the grid, here for race number 6, Jeremy Gardner, Jake Ellenson, 57-27. I love the number 7 as well. That is the front row here tonight. James Silvers will start from P3 with Tyler Justice starting from P4 here this evening outside of row number 2. Row number 3, George Jewell and James Kaufman, 36-25. They will make up row number 3. Row number 4 will find Brian Provo and Timothy Wilms. Brian Provo, one of those drivers we watched last night, if you was able to join us with the Lincoln Tech IndyCar Series, had a damn good shot to try to win it in Indy. And that was chaos 9 ways to Sunday at that race. We'll see if he's got a shot here tonight. There you see Patrick Dravick, the man, the myth, the legend. In the 07, he rolls off from P9 here tonight into the outside. Stub Nation, 92. Timothy Stubblefield rounding out the top 10.
Starting just outside the top 10, Jamie Lipke going to be rolling off in 11th with Eldon Stewart in 12th. Starting in the 13th position here this evening, going to be Charles Abert with Jamie Barkis to his outside in 14th. Rolling off in 15th, going to be Jacob Lenke with Chuck Pegleg Phelps starting in that 16th position. Starting in 17th, Alex Cruz, Tyler Evans to his outside in 18th. Rounding out your top 20, Cody McElwain, 2-time winner on the season with Bobby Germain starting in 20th. We only got 4 more left in the field, so just to finish that out, Claire Sisk starting in 21st, Matt Knights in 22nd. Rounding out the final row of the field, Dylan Canova and Logan Sturgeon not registering a time here in qualifying this evening.
Yeah, I mean, that's going to be a big old field as we're getting ready to get locked and loaded. Thank you to each and every one of you out there in the live chat. If you haven't yet, make sure you like and subscribe. to V-Speed. And not only that, but make sure that you like and subscribe to all the social media platforms for Goat Locker. A little charity race. Daniel, you were talking about that. We'll talk about that here later, a little bit later on in the broadcast here tonight. But here we go. Jeremy Gardner, Jake Ellingson up here on the front row. Two big daddies here with Goat Locker, getting ready to send them on for race number 6 of the Cruisin Classics Next Gen Series here with Goat Locker Racing. We're live on V-Speed. We got a virtual race, and they send it going down into turn number 1. Ellingson up on the top side. Gardner down on the bottom. Dead even heat race coming through 1 and 2. Gardner with the advantage. Ellingson now trying to work back up on the top side as well.
That top groove does seem to work pretty well through turns 1 and 2. We'll see about through 3 and 4 this time around. Gardner on the bottom, Ellingson up top. Gardner able to really roll a lot of speed down there on the bottom of the track. Oh, is that George Jewell? It looks like getting really loose in the back of the pack, able to hang on to it for that 36 car. But man, that was close to a big one here on the opening lap. While we were taking a look at that back up front, Big Daddy, he has taken that number 1 spot and cleared Jake Ellingson for the lead.
Yeah, absolutely. And Ellingson trying to maybe muster something up, hit the draft, do something to make it happen. James Silver's right there behind him. You see Justice, Kaufman, Provo down to the inside, trying to make it happen. Bam! Provo is mentioned as soon as I mentioned him. Damn it! Oh, baby, commentator curse has got to happen for Brian Provo. I have nothing right there, Daniel. I'm serious. I have nothing. As soon as I mentioned Provo having a good run and having a good run last night, as soon as I mentioned every bit of it, give him all the credit in the world, something happens and he ends up slamming into the damn wall.
Yeah, that was a pretty hard hit to the wall as well for Brian Provo in that 08 car. Visibly, it doesn't look like there's a lot of damage on the car, but just knowing what we know with iRacing and these next gens, you can get some suspension damage or, get something even without having that visual on there. So something to keep an eye on. And, Jake, we've seen these drivers struggling with grip here early on, kind of consistent with what we saw in practice as well, that it just seemed like, especially for the first couple of laps until you get some heat in the tires, these cars really struggling for grip, especially in that dirty air.
Yeah, absolutely. And if anybody wants my opinion on these cars, this show's rated, folks. I can't really give you my opinion on them. I will say this. I do not like them. There you see the 86. Timothy Wilms up here trying to mix it up with some of these old boys. We do want to see, obviously, some of these guys up here in the back trying to make something happen. Williams, you got Stubblefield not too far back from him as well. Looks like we got battles for position on the racetrack trying to work their way up through the field. Gardner got about a 2/10 of a second lead right now. And both of these guys really starting to clear out that gap right now, Daniel. And honestly, I think it's going to be a 2-horse race between both of those guys, Gardner and Ellingson, before the night's over with.
Yeah, it's certainly shaping up that way so far. Jeremy Gardner, we've seen it time and time again with, with any of the series that we call here at Goat Locker. Once he gets out front and gets that track position, just really hard to get around him. He's really good at conserving his tires, really good at just managing everything that he's doing. But, one driver that I would not count out is that 4 of James Silvers that's running there in the 3rd position currently. Just since we started watching this battle, it looks like he was starting to make just a little bit of time up. Of course, you see a puff of smoke off the wall right as soon as I say his name, because if there's one thing we're really good at, Jake, it's screwing over whatever driver we're talking about. But I've seen James Silvers. He's newer to Goat Locker, but I've seen him race quite a bit in next gens in a couple of other series and raced against him in those as well. And he's really strong in these next gen cars. It's a little further back. Cody McElwain, one of our race winners on the season, he had a pretty big moment off of turn 4 and actually got into the wall. So not the start that he's looking for here this evening. And you know, one of the other drivers I want to mention real quick up there in that 6th and 7th position, Patrick Dravick and Brian Provo, they've been having a pretty good battle for this 6th spot here. So if Provo does have damage on that car from that earlier hit to the wall, not really showing it. And Patrick Dravick was actually the winner here at Gateway in last season's Cup race, so can never count him out of it as well.
No, I mean, you can't count any of these guys out, honestly, Daniel, because, I mean, this is Goat Locker we're talking about. We're talking about some of the best of the best that iRacing has to offer. I mean, you want your Coca-Cola series? I'll tell you, you can take that Coca-Cola series and stick it where the sun doesn't shine, because I'm telling you, Goat Locker is one of the baddest leagues on the planet, and are doing a fantastic job of showing you why here this evening. Ellingson, you see right there in the 27, trying to have something for Jeremy Gardner. You know, Daniel, you know, we were talking about the turns here at Gateway. You know, you got all this, whoa, damn, Ellingson sit it there for a second. I thought he was going to drive in there and kind of get to him a little bit, but, you know, 10 laps into this, these corners, you know, you talked about them as well a while ago. Which one of these turns do you feel like is the hardest to try to get through?
I'll be honest, I think they all kind of suck to get through. This track is not one of my better ones. Somehow I got my first ever iRacing League win on Gateway, and I still ain't ever figured out how the hell I did that, because I am awful at this place. So, yeah, let's ride along here with Jake Ellingson and see. One of the things I'm curious to see here is whether or not Jake is actually shifting. As you can see there with the telemetry, currently in 4th gear. In real life, you see he bumps it up to 5th gear. In real life, over here in 1 and 2, these drivers will sometimes go all the way down to 3rd gear going through this section of the racetrack, and then just either that or they'll keep it in 4th, as you see Jake do there, and then they'll just leave it in 4th until they get back around to the front straightaway. Ellingson opting to shift, though, to 5th gear on the back straightaway as well, and then pretty much immediately back down to 4th. So just interesting how, you know, some guys will shift a little bit more than others and just use different ways to kind of get the car to rotate and move around the track here.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you on that. You know, I mean, it is a very, very technical track. And, yeah, I mean, all the corners kind of does suck to try to get in. But the one corner that I've always had a problem with here at Gateway has been this corner that they're coming off of right here, turn number 2. For some reason or another, I have no idea why it is so damn hard to come off of turn number 2. But each and every time, either hit the wall or you pull a Kyle Busch and you spin it out right there coming off of turn 2, because you probably was in 3rd gear and you hit the chip and wasn't able to shift and you spun it around. I mean, you done all kinds of stuff. I think it was Kyle Busch that did that. I hate it for Kyle Busch. Anyway, you know, I mean, turn 2 to me seems like it is the harder turn. I will agree with you, like you said, though, that all these corners suck. But, I mean, you know, is what it is. I mean, that is Gateway, and that's what makes this place that hard to try to get around this place. And one of the harder things is we got a caution on the speedway.
Yeah, caution is indeed out. Did not catch who it was. Believe it's for the 12, though, of Claire Sisk. As you can see there, going down through the grass a little bit. Didn't quite catch what happened initially. That'd be a pretty good indicator right there, though. If we could back it up just a bit further, you can see there the 12 was sitting sideways in the middle of the track. And that was actually off the exit of 2, that, you know, that kind of calamity corner that you talked about there, Jake. Talking about how that is definitely a tough turn to exit here. See, following along behind the 7 of Charles Abert. Oh, yeah, just gets loose there. And in the process of trying to collect it, I believe that's the 42 of Bobby Germain that was caught up in that as well. So tough break there for both drivers involved. But this is actually going to open up for our drivers to go ahead and hit pit road, still outside of the window to make it to the end without having to stop should we go green the rest of the way. But puts you in a spot to come down and go ahead and take a set of tires here.
Yeah, it absolutely does, and looks like everybody is going to take that option to take a pit stop. Folks, we're going to take one with them. We'll be right back here at Gateway. Don't go anywhere. You're watching the Cruisin' Classics Next Gen Series with Goat Locker live on V-Speed.
superior quality, ultimate protection, and the highest level of craftsmanship. We make our gloves for the hard worker that wakes up every morning and gives 110%. You deserve the highest quality protective gear that's going to work for you, day in, day out. We know it can be tough deciding what companies to trust for your hard-earned money. It's all in our name. We've mastered our craft to help you master yours. We make our gloves rugged, durable, and designed for you. Whatever the job is, we have you covered. We are your glove station.
A thriving job market and low cost of living, plus a wide range of veteran benefits, make Indiana the perfect place for veterans of the United States military to call home. InVets can help you find that home. We're an organization started by veterans to help former service members transition to civilian life in our state. InVets can help you find the community with the career opportunities, housing, schools, and amenities that fit your lifestyle. To learn more about InVets, visit us at invets.org today.
Oh, Lord, and we are back here at Gateway. It'll be a good one here tonight. See how this turns out. Thank you very much for joining us. Redneck Announcer Jake Reeves with Daniel Cunningham, Double L Lucas Lyons on production here this evening. Daniel, buddy, we're getting ready for a wild restart right here.
We are indeed. See Jeremy Gardner, first car off of pit road in that Save 22 machine. Jake Ellingson in that Lincoln Tech car to the outside. A couple of our league sponsors being repped there on that front row. But the one thing that I'm interested to see here, take a look at that third car on the inside there. That is James Kaufman in that number 25 U.S. Army car. Really solid run for him, just kind of quietly been running around there right at that fifth position since the green flag dropped. So see if he can make his way up here and start to put some pressure on these top four. But it's going to be all Big Daddy here on the restart as the control car.
It's going to be Big Daddy G, Jeremy Gardner. Here we go. Restart is in the house. Jake Ellingson right there to his outside. Green flag is in the air. Ellingson absolutely gets hammered on this restart with James Silvers down on the bottom side. Going to try to make the pass. Big Daddy G trying to separate. Justice right behind him. Contact. Door banging. Silvers, Ellingson, and we got spinners in the back. No caution yet. Now the caution flies.
Yeah, caution out there immediately after we took the green flag. Have to go back and see what happened on the V-Speed instant replay. And that was pretty much turn one, lap one after the restart. Looked like Jamie Barkis and Jacob Lenke involved in that caution. Lenke just with a little bit of speed there on the bottom, just gives a bump to one of the boss men over here at Goat Locker. Thankfully, though, both drivers able to keep it off the inside wall. Gonna ride along real quick here with Jacob Lenke as he gives a little how do you do to the boss man over here in turn 1 and 2. And yeah, I mean, that was nice that they were both able to keep it off the wall at the very least. But you can see here just trying to roll on the bottom. Maybe gets back into the throttle just a little bit earlier than the 15 could. And around they both go. Not sure if maybe Barkis had to check up just a little bit there to be able to maybe avoid something happening in front of him. Let's take a look from up top here on our blimp cam and see what happened for just another angle here. See Barkis up the track just a little bit. Yeah, looked like maybe he just had to check up, like maybe the car just got a little bit tight or something to that effect. But either way, contact made between the two drivers. Around they went, but ultimately able to keep it off the wall and no contact with the wall there for either driver.
Yeah, I mean, you hate to see that for literally all parties considered, but I mean, kind of back-to-back cautions right here kind of have really kind of threw a wrench into this race, if you will. And so that does give us just a little bit of an opportunity to talk about one of our great sponsors here with Goat Locker. And why not? I mean, hell, they are the title sponsor of the Cruisin Classics Next Gen Series, which is obviously Cruisin Classics. And Cruisin Classics located in Columbus, Ohio. Cruisin Classics has a beautiful, beautiful, do not find me Jim Carrey, 56,000 square foot showroom filled with hundreds of unique automobiles. There's something for everybody out of their hand-picked selection of muscle cars and hot rods. Come on down to visit the facility today and check out their website at cruisinclassicsinc.com. Thank you very much to Cruisin Classics for their sponsorship. What a great sponsor that we got here at Go Locker, and so proud to have them as a title sponsor, Daniel.
Yeah, definitely appreciate them being one of the title sponsors here. And actually, one of the things that I learned last week, I asked Ryan Pendleton if he ran the Cruisin Classics car because he's an Ohio State fan and they're in Columbus, but actually a family business of Pendleton, not from him specifically, but from his, I believe he said it was his parents last week during his interview. So cool family connection there. Appreciate their support here with Goat Locker. But we're 21 laps in of 100, getting ready to fire this race back off again.
Yeah, and maybe, just maybe, we can get in one of those long green flag runs like we had a while ago. And I'm sure Big Daddy G would absolutely love to see it. Ellingson maybe would love a long green flag run, maybe have something for him at the back end. Green flag back in the air. Ellingson gets a better restart than what he did that last time. Silver's, though, not wanting to give it up. He wants to go for second. Gardner's still with a lead. Silver's down on the bottom side. Ellingson is up top as they work their way off of turn 2 again.
Yeah, definitely a better restart out of the 27 that time around, as you had mentioned. Kind of got that practice restart the last go round. The battle is on really for the top 3 spots here, side by side between Silvers and Ellingson. Silvers in that 4 car down on the bottom, really putting the pressure on Ellingson, trying to get that number 2 spot away. And they were close to being right up the tailpipe of 57. Jeremy Gardner there, still putting some pressure on him even with that battle going on.
Ellingson now, he'll get back into the second spot. Silvers, he'll go back to third. Patrick Drabick, the man, the myth, the legend, starting to rear his 07 head right up into the mix as well. Up in fourth, he got around Tyler Justice for the 4th spot. Justice back to 5th. James Kaufman, George Jules sitting 6th and 7th as of right now. And for the most part, single file except for right here, the battle on your screen. Timothy Wilms trying to go after Brian Provo in the 08. Provo taking a little bit of a bottom look. Wilms taking it top and trying to cut the corner, if you will, go to the top, drive it down on the bottom side, see if he can try to make it stick. But everybody, once again, no, whoa, no, hell no, they ain't. Here we go. Battle is on up here at the front. Right behind them, big time battle going on right here coming off turn 4.
Yeah, Logan Sturgeon there in that number 8 position. We've been talking about this place can be difficult to pass. He says, I'll show you how difficult it is to pass. Currently up 15 spots, trying to make it 16 here. Gonna make it 16 actually as he gets around George Jewell for that number 7 position. So Logan Sturgeon on the move here early on. And, he's showing us, yeah, you can pass here. You just got to know how to get around this place, which is probably why I can't pass here. But, just real quick, Jake, something that you said earlier, you're talking about Patrick Drabick working his way up there now into that 4th position. I could have swore you were getting ready to say he was getting ready to rear his ugly head up there. And I thought you and I were both going to be looking for jobs next week.
No, I'm smart enough. I'm smart enough to hold my tongue to a certain extent, I guess you could say, the best way I can. We got an instant, check this out right here. Oh, baby. Patrick Drabick.
That is not Patrick Drabick, contrary to what Lucas has told us.
Thank you, Double L, Lucas Lyons. Thank you for the lie right there. There is Drabick.
Now we've got the boss man. Now we've got him up there. So, Lucas putting I'm telling you right now, Lucas Lyons is going to have hell to pay from the boss man here after this race is over, confusing the two big boys here, confusing Drabic and Parkes. I can't wait. You know what? We don't have favorites up here, but I would love to see Drabic get an interview now, just so we can make sure to mention that to him and get a live reaction. But anyway, back up front here. That's enough of us screwing with each other. Back up front here, we've got a battle for the lead. Ellingson putting some pressure on Jeremy Gardner here. Close that gap down to just a couple of car lengths, trying to find a way to the lead.
Yeah, absolutely. And Ellingson may want this sucker to go green, maybe have something for Gardner. Gardner poked out a little bit. Now Ellingson right up on the back door of the 57 of Jeremy Gardner. Worked their way off of turn number 4. We got 71 laps to go once they hit the line. And Gardner, for the most part, has been the top dog, if you will, here tonight at Gateway. But Ellingson, very much, you see him, he gets a run through 1 and 2, able to get up on the back door, but not able to get to the inside or outside. We've already seen a couple of passes be able to try to make work on the outside. But Ellingson just has nothing for him. It's like he hits a wall of air once he gets to the back end of Gardner. Either that, Daniel, or he could be in the prime position of just sit there and ride and just try to make Gardner make a mistake.
Yeah, one thing about it with Jeremy Gardner, he runs these next-gen cars a ton, and he's kind of talked about some of the aero changes that have taken place and how you can really kind of manipulate the other cars around you with how you put them in dirty air or how you try to pack air on it. So got to wonder if maybe a little bit of an aero game that Jeremy Gardner might be trying to play, maybe a little bit of mirror driving here. But if he is, Jake Ellingson doing a heck of a job to be able to stick with him as close as he has. And while these two are racing, the fastest car out of the top 3 is actually that 4 of James Silvers. Let's take a look a little bit further back here at the top 5. Battle for that last spot for the top 5, really. Logan Sturgeon trying to find his way up into the 6th position. He's looking to the outside of James Kaufman. 25 and 26 going to battle here. It looks like he's got the momentum. He's going to be able to try to clear here as they get to the front straightaway.
Yeah, I mean, he's trying every way that he possibly can to try to make that pass, but certainly not able to do it. And others trying to maybe capitalize on that issue as well. But, I mean, this play, I mean, and now we're starting to see something that we've seen in the past here at Gateway. Different lanes. Oh, wow, Sturgeon. Holy hell, and Kaufman goes sideways as well. Still green, no caution yet on the speedway. Now the caution flies.
Oh, and Logan Sturgeon just got clocked by the 37 of Jacob Lenke after the incident was over and ends up towing to the pits. Big damage for the 37 of Lenke as well. Gonna have to cue this up on that V-Speed instant replay. The incident really started when they were trying to navigate the lap traffic, the 12 car of Claire Sisk, and Sisk just holding line, going straight down the back straightaway up along the wall, and oh, good night. You could see Logan came back up onto the track there, had the brakes locked, trying to get it stopped. Nothing that either he or the 37 could really do there. But if you take a look here, Kaufman goes to the inside of Logan Sturgeon. They catch the lap traffic, and Logan just tries to go to the inside. And I don't think James anticipated that move from Logan there. You know, in a perfect world, you would think, okay, we both move down, we both get around the lap car, and we both go on to fight another corner here. But I don't think that move was anticipated, at least not at the rate that it happened.
Yeah, I mean, and this one right here might be one of those instances right here where you hide your wife and hide your kids. Don't let them see kind of what's going to happen right here. Riding on board with the 37, Jacob Lenke, 1 and 2. Already everything has popped off right here. This is going to be a rough ride right here. Lenke just trying to come out of nowhere. Bam, there he is. Bam, nails him right in the back end. Jacob Lenke absolutely nowhere to go. Right on board right here. There's Sturgeon, had the hole, tried to make it happen. He spins, comes down, clocks the inside retaining wall, and then trying to get around Kaufman. And I think right there, I mean, I think he was just trying to get around him. The tires was already smoked. comes back up, he loses grip, comes back up, Linky's there, and absolutely annihilates the 26 of Logan Sturgeon. And we got some guys that went down pit road, some decided not to, so they did take a pit stop. We're going to take one more with them. We'll be right back here at Gateway. Don't go anywhere.
And we are back here at Gateway. Cannot wait to get this bad boy going back here tonight. Redneck announcer Jake Reeves, Daniel Cunningham, Double L Lucas Lyons. Thank you very much for joining us here this evening. Light up that chat box out there. I've been watching it a little bit. We already had a couple of guys already, or a couple of y'all already wanting to talk about the commentator curse that is alive, and it is well. I did see that, so thank you very much for blasting us and making us feel right at home here tonight on V-Speed. But here we go, getting ready for a little race.
Tyler Evans elected to not come down pit road that last time by, maybe thinking that they can make it to the end on fuel even with those cautions and trying to stretch it just a little bit farther. Be interesting to see how that strategy plays out here for them. Back behind them, though, those drivers that did come down pit road, Tyler Justice now, the top running driver of those that did come down pit road. He actually took 2 tires, it looks like, on that last pit stop, and he has been able to utilize that now to get up to third, put looks like that is now Jake Ellingson up into the 4th position. Both of those drivers able to get around Jeremy Gardner. Patrick Drabick now trying to find his way around as well.
I mean, Jeremy Gardner is kind of at a disadvantage right here if you think about it, Daniel. I mean, this is the first time that he's actually had dirty air that he's having to worry about, as now he tries to work his way around Patrick Drabick. Brian Provo right there behind him with George Jules sending it as well in the 36. Then you got Alex Cruz back there in the 5 trying to make something happen. But up front, James Silvers loving every bit of it, loving every minute of it. Loverboy kind of themes out here tonight at Gateway. Silvers trying to get away. Evans, oh hell, Drabick. Drabick goes around, caution out once again.
Yeah, that's pretty big damage on the front of the 07 of Patrick Drabick. Have to go back and take a look at the replay here. What exactly happened to him? And man, he had gotten some really good track position. So unfortunate set of circumstances here for him, and looked like, oh yeah, he got some help there from the 33 of Tyler Justice. Looked like Jeremy Gardner actually got a piece of that as well. Once Drabick went around, kind of hard to tell from that original angle if Gardner got any damage from it or not, but it certainly looked like it. And I mean, it looked like Pat just had to check up a little bit for the 27 there to just not get in the back of him. And then next thing you know, he's getting hit from behind by the 33 of Justice.
Yeah, I mean, that is unfortunate right there. I mean, Justice nails straight into him, causes a chain reaction. You mentioned Jeremy Gardner getting a piece of it as well. Wow. I mean, Daniel, are you kind of surprised to see the cautions that we're having just kind of back to back to back to back to back like we're seeing here tonight?
A little bit, yes, just because of how good these drivers have been and the long green flag runs that we've gotten. But this track was showing pretty difficult, pretty challenging when I was watching them in practice. Take another look here from the onboard of Cody McElwain. yeah, I mean, these drivers were just struggling with grip, and it seems like if you can't get that heat into the tires, it just makes it that much worse with trying to navigate your way around here.
Yeah, it very much is. You see the pace car coming out here to pick up James Silvers, who leads them here tonight. And while we got an opportunity, we already played one of their commercials, but we do want to give a lot of love to the sponsor of Glove Station, because obviously they are a great big partner here with Goat Locker. And at Glove Station, they are committed to providing quality gloves and protective gear for a wide range of your daily activities and jobs, from tinkering on home DIYs, whatever the hell they are, to working in industrial environments and everything in between. They got you covered with the endless amounts of safety products on the market. They want to make it effortless for you to find the right protection for your needs. So thank you very much to Glove Station for everything that they do for their business, and also for Goat Locker. And another thing I do want to kind of bring up, and Daniel, you kind of hit it on this as well, but there's kind of a little race going on, because we're off next week, but tell everybody at home about this little fundraiser race.
Yeah, so this is actually going to take place next Wednesday during this same time slot. Myself and Eddie Smith are actually going to be up in the broadcast booth for this one. It's former winners, former champions in Goat Locker. It's also going to have a few qualifying races for some other folks to get in as well. So yeah, just a really cool thing that we're doing here. And the reason that we're putting this on is basically, we do a lot of sim rig giveaways within Goat Locker. There's quite a few drivers here that have been able to take advantage of that and get started in racing, that are veterans and first responders. And the thing is, right now, it's predominantly in the state of Indiana, but this fundraiser race is going to help those that are outside of the state of Indiana to be able to get started here.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's going to be a good one right there. The ARCA cars, not these old ARCA cars that we used to see, that kind of look like those Gen 4s. We're talking about the actual ARCA cars. The new ones that got implemented, what was it, a couple of months ago? I think it was, Daniel. The new ones, with all that good stuff, and it's going to be at Vegas. I have drove those ARCA cars. I enjoy running those ARCA cars. I stuck at those ARCA cars, but I do enjoy racing in them. So that is going to be a good one. Remember, all of that goes on next Wednesday night, a week from tonight, mind you, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, live on V-Speed with Goat Locker, 100 laps at Vegas ARCA cars. It is going to be a dandy, and I got a feeling maybe, just maybe, if everything kind of gets straightened out right here, Daniel, we get everything lined up, I think we may be in for a dandy here this evening.
Yeah, indeed we will be, as we're actually back to green flag racing. A little bit of a tech glitch there, we'll call it, a little bit of a tape delay. Back to green. Up front, James Silvers is your leader. Jake Ellingson, though, in second now, putting the pressure on for that race lead, trying to find a way around. Got a new player up there in the top three as well. Brian Provo with a nice rebound from that earlier contact with the wall, showing that car is still solid in one piece, and he's trying to get up there and throw his hat in the ring also.
Yeah, I mean, he's doing a fantastic job sliding up here, getting in the middle of it. How about George Jewell? George Jewell not too far back. Shasta has got to be loving this with Jewell sitting back there in the fourth spot. Cody McElwain, check this man out right here, sitting in fifth. Cody McElwain started at the back of the field, started 19th, has worked his way up here and cracked it up into the top five in the NVATS car. McElwain could be a player at the end of this bad boy when it's all said and done. And obviously Jamie Barkas up there with Evans and Alex Cruz. I mean, all these guys up here still got a shot at it, but this top five starting to separate themselves and literally making them the heavy hitters, at least for the most part right now.
Yeah, for sure. Just a little bit of housekeeping here from that last caution. Couple of drivers out on that one. Patrick Drabick has parked it in the garage, as has Tyler Justice, Jacob Lidke, and Logan Sturgeon from their earlier incidents. So down a few cars here, but I'll tell you one car we're not down is that 27 of Jake Ellingson. He's looking to the inside of Silvers.
Yeah, I mean, here he goes, Ellingson down on the inside. Will he be able to make it stick? Silvers actually pushes up a little bit, opens the door. 27, Silvers smacks the wall. Ellingson gets the run, dives down to the inside. Provo is going to try to capitalize on that as well. Battle for second is on. Silvers up top, Provo down on the bottom, and Jake Ellingson able to take advantage of the opportunity. 27 to the lead here tonight at Gateway.
27, Jake Ellingson, as you mentioned, to the race lead. Brian Provo, one of his teammates, trying to follow him through now. And you mentioned George Jewell in that 36. Shasta probably out there cheering him on, as she usually is. Cody McElwain there, we saw him have a little bit of an excursion through the grass. He has now worked his way up to that number 5 position. And you know what? I kind of feel like we're a little obligated at this point with the driver running in 6th. We got him confused with, we got him confused with Patrick Drabick earlier. I feel a little obligated that we need to show his cam now with actually focusing on his car, but actually it sounds like it's gone. So I guess he said to hell with it. If you're going to call me Patrick Drabick, I'm just gonna call it a night and turn my cam off then.
Oh Lord. I got a feeling right now, Barkus, he is going to be in this type of situation right here. Daniel, for the first time, I got to play it here tonight because I've got a feeling Barkus is probably a little bit pissed off right now at our producer. I think he's got beef, honestly, with Lucas Lyons. You get him mixed up like that. I mean, this is Jamie Barkus. You got the 2 big dogs here with Goat Locker. You cannot get them confused. You cannot do it at any point in time on the broadcast. You just can't do it.
Yeah, that's like somebody like me confusing a couple of our V-Speed guys, Logan and Morgan, and, getting them confused. So, yeah, anyway, that's a different story for another night when we're not trying to call a race here. But battle for second is on. Brian Provo still right on the back bumper in the tire tracks of that for James Silvers. Remember, Silvers did not take the opportunity to come down pit road when some of these other drivers did. On a little bit older tires, about 18 laps more on his tires. Of course, some of those run under caution, but doing a nice job hanging on here, maintaining that track position.
Yeah, I mean, and Daniel, granted, 18 laps, we see, tire wear can obviously play a big factor. We know that. We've seen that with other cars. But, 18 laps here at Damn Evans. Good Lord. Ross Chastain said right there for Tyler Evans. Right there, the 77. Good Lord have mercy. He absolutely blows the corner. And then back here behind him, we got guys, Alex Cruz, James Kaufman, guys back here sending it as well. I was going to talk about the tires, but we got to talk about these guys sending it going into these corners. They're trying to get every little inch that they possibly can, even hitting the damn wall coming off of turn 4. All these guys taking every advantage that they can.
Yeah, I'm glad that you said that because I saw that 77 just send it down in there and, man, somehow kept it out of the wall. That was a heck of a send going on here. But, we talked about Jeremy Gardner getting a piece of that incident on that last caution that we had. Currently worked his way back up to that number 8 position, trying to find a way around Jamie Lipke for 7th. So the 57 of Gardner making a little bit of ground up here. And, we've talked about he's running that Save 22 car. Is Gardner there in that 57? Save 22, another one of our great league sponsors here. They're a 501c3 organization dedicated to preventing suicide among veterans, active duty personnel, and first responders. Their unwavering mission extends to 4 critical pillars: shield, assist, volunteer, educate, and save22.vet. We appreciate all of their work that they do with the veteran community and all their support here at Goat Locker. And just as I get done with that sponsor read, Jeremy Gardner takes that save 22 car and gets that number 7 position.
Yeah, absolutely. And Jeremy Gardner really trying to get back into the middle of this. I mean, he is starting to somewhat close the gap on Jake Ellenson. Was at about 6 seconds a while ago. Now he's got it about 5.5. But Ellenson able to fire off better in 3 and 4. Gardner able to make it happen in 1 and 2, which is where they was. I mean, that's where your gap was on how it was earlier on. Ellingson still leads about 1.5 seconds over Silvers. Now Silvers got Provo, McElwain right behind him. McElwain able to get around George Jewell for the 4th spot. So now it's a 3-horse race for the 2nd spot. You got Silvers, you got Provo, you got McElwain, all of them. Throw a blanket over every single one of them. All 3 of them trying to run down Jake Ellingson, who smacked the wall once again coming out of turn 4.
And Jake Ellingson with a little over 1.25 seconds lead, so doesn't really have to push or be overly aggressive right now. He's just able to kind of ride. So kind of surprising to see him make a little bit of contact with the wall. But back here behind him, you can see there's Silvers still running in that 2nd position with Provo in 3rd. Cody McElwain, though, now up to that 4th position. He's starting to reel these guys in a little bit. He's actually consistently been the fastest car out of the top 5 the last few laps here. Of course, just as soon as I say that, this time around with him catching some of these drivers, it kind of levels out a little bit. But before that, the last couple laps previous, he had been running about a tenth and a half faster than pretty much everybody ahead of him. So plenty of speed in that 6 car to try to get up here and mount a challenge this evening.
Yeah, I mean, he has got a pretty good shot at it, possibly to get him a podium finish. Check out the last lap times. Silver's actually about 1/10 second quicker than Jake Ellingson. There you saw Provo right there in the mix as well. Now Ellingson able to get a little faster. Right there, McElwain right there smack dab in the middle of it as far as times goes. Barkus back there 2/10 faster than the race leaders. So if Barkus can get up there in the middle of this, there's a good possibility we could have something. As we're hearing also, there is a battle going on right here on your screen. Another one back here in the back as well. Boy, their battles all over the place. A little bit of battling going on right there behind Stubblefield. There's Wilms and Germain. Both of them kind of sitting in it as well, going into turn 3, and right behind Stubb Nation. Give a call right there to the 92.
Oh, Stubb into the wall.
Damn, I was just fixing to talk good about him. Once again, the damn commentator curse hits me again, Daniel. I mean, these guys really are going to be at the point of just talk about somebody else. Just talk about somebody else. Do not talk about me. Just talk about somebody else. Don't put Marcus on there, Lucas Lodge. When we talk about him, he'll hit the damn wall, we'll all be fired. Don't do that. We cannot do that. But George Jewell up top, he hits the damn wall. Everybody hitting the wall when I talk about him.
You know, Jake, have you ever figured that this might be a good opportunity for a side business for us? You know, you could pay us either to not talk about you, or if there's somebody you just plain old don't like, slip us an extra 10 during the race, and hell, we could talk about them and put the curse on them.
Yeah, that sounds like a good idea, to be honest with you. Anybody out there in the live chat, slip us $10 a piece, you know, because we both got to get a little bit out of this. Come on, Daniel, you know, we got to get hooked up the right way. But anybody out there in the live chat, if there's somebody that you want us to talk about, try to screw them over, slip us a $10 bill piece, and then we'll go ahead and we'll talk about them for a minute. Maybe they'll reckon that it'll be in your favor. We got people out there in the live chat going, oh, Lord, I got an idea already. I got somebody in mind. No, I'm just kidding about that, folks. No, we wouldn't do that. But it does certainly seem like every time we talk about them, any of them. I mean, you know, Gardner, Ellingson, Joel, I mean, Provo, any of them that we pick, it just seems like that, I mean, Barkus right here coming off turn 4, he didn't hit the wall, so that was a good deal for him, but he's going to have a run, try to make it up into the top 5 to get around George Jewell.
Yeah, Jamie Barkus has been confused for Pat this evening, though. That's his curse that he's got on him. So he's already got a little bit in the bank there to kind of withdraw from after that. But, you know, we talked about him. He made the pass there on George Jewell, so put Jamie Barkus up into the top 5. And I don't know who that was. Somebody just blinked out there right as we were talking about him. So I think that was actually the 36, but back rolling again. No major lasting connection issue there. And right behind them, Jeremy Gardner tried to creep back up and gain some of that track position as well. Just taking a look at our lap times here, he's actually been the fastest car in the top 10 here for the last couple of laps, and been the fastest car in the top 10 by about a tenth and a half, 2/10 over anybody. So still plenty of speed in that 57 as well.
Yeah, I mean, there you see it right there, 33.7 that last time by. Everybody else in the 34s or the 33.9s. So big right there for Jeremy Gardner. But will he have enough time to try to make it happen? Kaufman slides up. He gets into the wall. Boy, that turn 4 wall has been a pain for these drivers here tonight. You know, I mentioned turn 2 is kind of a pain to come off of. But it seems like turn 4, just how wide sweeping that it is ever inviting for these guys to come off of it, and it invites them all right, because it invites them right up into the wall. So it just seems like that turn 4 is just, look, I mean, whether or not, damn, some of these guys have hit it so many times you would think the whole right side would be ripped off of it. Maybe it's just style racing, maybe it's a visual thing, maybe somehow, some way. But Big Daddy G, Jeremy Gardner, another pass, goes around Joel. He goes up to 6, and he'll set his sights on Jamie Barkas.
Yeah, Jeremy Gardner on the comeback trail after that earlier incident. You mentioned it, up into the 6th position now. And looked like George Jewell just said, hey, you know what? I can tell you're faster. I'm just going to go ahead and let you have the bottom here and let you have this position. Didn't really put up a big fight there for it. So just trying to race pretty smart here between teammates, but up ahead of them, see a battle side by side there. Jamie Barkas trying to get another spot. He is door to door with the 08 of Brian Provo. Gonna look to see if he can clear as they get down into turns 3 and 4. You can see Provo running that really high groove up there, trying to find some grip. Not quite able to do so though. Jamie Barkas able to easily complete that pass and put him up into the 4th position.
Yeah, Jamie Barkas, this battle actually 3.5 seconds back from your race leader, Jake Ellingson, who has now got about a second lead now over James Silvers. Cody McElwain about a half a second back from him. Now they're actually just going to start to hit the turn 2 wall. Gardner, though, 57, really making moves. A while ago, he's about 4.5 seconds back. Now he's got it right at 4 seconds. Dives to the inside. 57 back up into the top 5. Jeremy Gardner, does he have enough time, Daniel? Does he have enough time with the lap times he's putting down? Does he have enough time to catch that 27?
If he can keep the pace up that he's got, he definitely has enough time. That last lap, he even with making the pass there on Brian Provo, he ran a 33.86. The leader, Jake Ellingson, ran a 34.10, and really the next fastest car in the top 10 was James Silvers at a 33.98. So he definitely has time. You can see our last lap times there over on the left-hand side. And he's the only driver that's consistently in that 33-second bracket right now. So, yeah, I mean, it's a tall order, and a caution would definitely get him caught back up.
Be in front of a battle for 4th on your screen. Gap is still staying about a second right now with James Silvers, and then McElwain right there kind of stalling out at about a second and a half. Jeremy Gardner, though, slides right by Jamie Barkas. No contest. If anything, Barkas might have lifted out of the gas going into 3. Just let Gardner slide right by and take hold of the 4th spot. He is a man on a mission. He is a man on a mission right now, that 57 of Jeremy Gardner.
Yeah, putting down some really quick lap times. And the biggest thing is when he's catching these other drivers, he's making pretty short work of the passes. He's not having to take a lot of time. He's able to set it up the way that he needs to and able to really just make the moves happen as soon as he gets there. So definitely working to his benefit as well. But now that he's gotten through a little bit of that lap traffic, let's take a quick look back up front with our race leader, Jake Ellingson. still riding about 9/10 to a second ahead of our second place driver, James Silvers, kind of trading lap times back and forth a little bit. One lap, Silvers may be a half a tenth or a tenth faster. The next lap, Ellingson gets it back from him. And as you can see there on that number 27 car, repping another one of our great league sponsors, and that is Lincoln Tech. I want to go ahead and give them a quick shout out here. Lincoln Tech's mission is to provide superior education and training to our students for in-demand careers in a supportive, accessible learning environment, transforming students' lives and adding value to their communities. They're one of the largest automotive technology schools in the nation with 23 campuses. They're the title sponsor of the IndyCar series and one of the largest partners here at Goat Locker. We appreciate their support with everything they do.
Obviously, Lincoln Tech with me and Logan Thurkiel on the Tuesday night series with the Lincoln Tech IndyCar series, which we was at Indy last night, which was an absolute blast to call that one. I mean, we saw cars all over the place. I mean, hell, folks, we've seen wrecks here tonight. If you have not yet seen last night's race with the Lincoln Tech IndyCar series at the Indy Oval, after this race, please, God, go see it. I mean, please go watch it, because if you want a thrilling finish, if you want cars in the air, if you want high speeds at 220 miles an hour, that was a damn good race. I mean, it was one of the best races that I've seen in a very, very long time. And, you know, Daniel, that actually brings me to this point is we're just inside of 25 laps to go, or actually right at 25 laps to go, excuse me. But, you know, that brings me to this point, you know, and I talked about this a while ago. I mean, you know, we talk about it all the time, Patrick Travick, Jamie Barkas, and everything that they do for Goat Locker. But I really hope everybody at home that watches it, and not only them, but the drivers, I'm sure everybody, you know, all the drivers appreciate it, but they just don't get enough of credit for what they have accomplished here and what they have made. As James Silvers goes up into the wall, McElwain may have a shot on the inside, but I mean, but back to that, I just don't think they get enough credit, you know, in my opinion. And I'm not trying to, I'll just be blunt, I'm not trying to, you know, kiss their ass. I'm just being honest with you though, Daniel. I just don't think they get enough of credit for everything that they have done for this great league.
Yeah, it's definitely amazing to see what they have built Goat Locker into. And really one of my favorite things about the series is just, you know, there's a lot of leagues that may, you know, that may say that like, hey, we welcome first responders, we welcome veterans, you know, whatever the case is. But Goat Locker really backs it up with what they do with the SimRig giveaways, with having so many active duty first responders that have been able to utilize that. So that's really cool. And just the community as a whole that they've built here in Goat Locker that, you know, we've seen it with some of our Warrior spotlights with different guys talking about how much this just a community means to them here at Goat Locker, and just having a place to come hang out and be able to talk to other veterans. And, you know, personally, I was never in the military, so I can't say that I know what it's like to be active duty and make that transition back to civilian life, or what you have to deal with after that. But I mean, I've got a lot of family members that have been, and I know it's not an easy transition that they've made. So, you know, just having that place to kind of help and be able to lean on others is really awesome with the community that they built over here.
Well, folks, coming up to it right here with 20 laps to go, Cody McElwain has entered the picture. Jeremy Gardner's kind of entered it as well. And right at 2 seconds, right on the back door, James Silvers. But Jake Ellingson has some competition now. With these last 20 laps, I think we're in for honestly, a great finish, and I have no idea how this is going to turn out. You know, there for a while, Daniel, right here as we are at the 20 to go, there for a while we thought it was going to be Gardner and Ellingson. I mean, Gardner would lead, Ellingson would be right there on his back door, he'd have a shot. You know, but ever since all the cautions have kind of kicked in, it does, you know, it's brought new players into the game. And not only that, but the two guys that we were talking about earlier with Ellingson and Gardner, they're back into the picture. And I think it's going to be a 3-horse race right here. It's going to be Ellingson, it's going to be McElwain, and I think Jeremy Gardner's going to slide right by James Silvers. That's going to be your 3 horses right here.
Yeah, that's not to discredit what Silvers has done this evening. He has put up a hell of a fight here to be able to stay on those older tires. But just as we're talking about it, speaking of a fight, Jake Ellingson on the outside, McElwain on the inside. Cody McElwain trying to take that spot away, and it looks like he is going to easily be able to clear the 27 of Jake Ellingson. I don't think that's what Jeremy Gardner wanted to see, because Cody McElwain has been turning lap times just as fast, if not a little bit faster than Gardner. I think he really wanted to see those two get up there and battle it out just a little bit, maybe help him reel those two back in. But as you can see there, Gardner up to the number 3 spot now, but we have a new leader, the number 6 at the top of the pylon.
Yeah, and Cody McElwain would love to get him another win and join those drivers in that obviously coveted of multiple wins here this season. So that would be a pretty big deal for McElwain. Slide up here and make it happen. Actually, he would actually be the leader of all of them. He's already got 2 wins. Ryan Pendleton got the 1 win. Gardner and McElwain 2 wins apiece. So if McElwain can get the win, he'll be able to jump Jeremy Gardner as far as wins goes. Maybe not for the points. We'll see how all that shakes out for next week. But obviously in prime position to get it done here tonight. As McElwain now opening it up to about a second. Gardner not catching McElwain as fast as he was. So, I mean, what do you think right here? I mean, you know, now I'll ask you the same question that I asked you a while ago, Daniel. You know, can Gardner catch Ellingson? Well, you was like, yeah, absolutely, with the speed that he's got. Well, now McElwain just come out of nowhere, and he just passed Jake Ellingson like, you know, I mean, basically like he was sitting still and he's pulling away. Can Gardner catch McElwain?
Well, you can see the gap there. He's about 1.7 back as we get inside of 15 laps to go here. So needs to tick off a little over a tenth of a second per lap. And, you know, I don't know. That's going to be a really tall order here for the 57 of Gardner. I mean, yeah, you said it. You asked me if he could catch Ellingson. Well, and I was right on that, because he's right on the back bumper of the 27. I'll be honest, I did not expect to see Cody McElwain just kind of come out of nowhere with the long run speed there. And you mentioned it, he has just absolutely set sail from these two. And back behind them, though, Jamie Barkis able to get around James Silvers for the number 4 position. I'm going to be really curious to see if Silvers can make it to the end on fuel with running a little bit longer here. But back up towards the front of the pack, going to put Jeremy Gardner up to the number 2 spot, able to get around the 27 of Ellingson. Looks like there are a couple of lap cars here in between both McElwain and Gardner. So once they get a little bit of clear racetrack, I'll be curious to see if Gardner can start making any dents in that gap.
Yeah, I mean, it's really going to be interesting. Is actually Gardner now sitting in second. So we got the 2 guys, both of them with the most wins of the season, wanting to cement their place as the top dog here this season for the Cruisin Classics Next Gen Series. Gardner got it at about a second and a half. Laps are starting to tick down faster than the gap is. As Gardner got it down, he sends it into turn 3, gets it down to under a second and a half. But will he be able to hold it? Doesn't look like it. Looks like the gap is actually going to grow just a little bit. Not by much, but just a little bit, and start to grow over McElwain. So it's going to be a dogfight right here between McElwain and Gardner. Gardner's going to have to dig down deep in his bag of tricks. You talked about it a while ago, Daniel, with, you know, Gardner being, you know, running these next-gen cars as much as he has. He's going to have to dig down deep in his bag of tricks. But looks like he's getting something done over here in 3 and 4, though.
Yeah, the 2 laps prior to this one, he had actually taken a half a second out of McElwain's lead. This time around, though, just about identical lap times. I mean, within 100th of a second between the 2 of them. You can see the lap times over there on our scoring pylon. So, yeah, it's one of those things where maybe McElwain just got a little out of rhythm with the lap traffic that he was coming up on. Actually getting ready to come up on another lap car here. It's like that's Matt Knight's in the 64 that he is getting ready to put a lap down. So, I mean, Matt's the type of driver, typically he'll just pull over, let you go, say, here, you guys have at it. Which, classy thing for him to do when he does get in those situations. But you can see there, McElwain did, I guess, about a 1/10 of a second there that he lost to Jeremy Gardner. But even at that gap at a 1/10 of a second, that's not going to be enough for Gardner to be able to get there. He's going to have to take some bigger chunks out than that.
Yeah, I mean, McElwain's going to have to deal with all this lap traffic as well. But at the same time, McElwain dealing with just that, it wasn't just one car, but still, he's going to have to, now Gardner's going to have to deal with that lap traffic. Ellingson, Barkis, and Silvers, they're gone. I mean, they're not even in the picture at this point. Gardner now got it down to almost, he sent it in for a second, he had it at a second. Now he's using the draft off of the lap machine, the 64 right here in front of him, of Matt Knight's, trying to use some draft any way that he can, use any advantage that you possibly can to try to catch Cody McElwain. If Gardner maybe can get the draft off of McElwain, it will help this 57 be able to close the gap, especially on the straightaways. So here we go with 8 laps to go. McElwain still leads. Gardner now got it to 7/10 of a second. Oh, man, damn.
That last lap was a huge one. Jeremy Gardner took 3/10 out of the lead of Cody McElwain. If he does that again, he is going to be on the back bumper here in no time flat. And you can see it there. That 6 car getting a lot closer, a lot bigger in that front windshield. Another 2/10 out of the lead that time for Jeremy Gardner. And getting down close to 5 to go, but man, if he can keep that pace up, it's just the biggest question is going to be as he starts to close in on McElwain, does he lose some aero grip? And you can kind of see it off of turn 2 there. He actually lost a couple of tenths off of 2 that time. Looks like the car just got tight and just would not turn on exit 4.
Yeah, absolutely. But, Daniel, you know the old saying, old buddy, catching him is one thing, is passing him is another. As you see Gardner actually slide up and tag the outside retaining wall coming off of turn number 4. 6 laps to go. Gardner looking for grip anywhere that he can, looking for clean air, looking for grip, looking for anything that he can possibly use to his advantage. McElwain still with the lead coming this time. 5 laps to go. It's the 6 in the 57. Gardner sends it down on the inside, comes up, tries to dive in the corner, if you will. McElwain's going to wrap it all the way down the bottom side, and James Silvers is not going to be able to finish on the fuel. He took the gamble, wasn't able to make it work. The 4 of James Silvers down pit road. 5 laps to go.
Yeah, I was really curious if he would be able to stretch it with the cautions that we had. It was just a little bit too much to ask out of that fuel cell. So 5 laps to go. Unfortunate that he's not going to be able to finish it out here. But you can see it there. Gap is down to just about half a second. Jeremy Gardner continuing to reel in the 6 of Cody McElwain. And it's just going to be really tight here. We're at 4 to go. Jeremy's going to have to try something here to be able to take some time out of this lead. But you can see Brian Provo there. He's actually on fresher tires. Looks like he had to come down pit road as well. He's going to try to get around Jeremy Gardner maybe. And if he does, that is only going to hurt Gardner's effort to get up there and try to get around the 6 of McElwain.
Goat Locker Racing and Save 22 vet teams literally slugging it out here tonight. Obviously, teammates, maybe trying to watch their buddies, maybe try to help them out any way that they can, any way, shape, fashion, or form. 3 to go, 4/10 of a second. Provo trying to get around him, trying to get around Gardner. Gardner tried to catch the 6. Provo tried to make it interesting. And think about this right here, Daniel. McElwain, Provo, teammates. So Provo is trying to mess up Gardner any way that he can. Even though he's a lap down, he is trying to mess up Jeremy Gardner as much as he possibly can to get the advantage for Goat Locker Racing to get this win.
Yeah, and to be honest, I think if Provo really wanted to get around him, he could have done it by now. Just looking at James Silvers with the fresher tires, he's running about a second and a half a lap faster right now than these guys up at the front. So I think Provo could have gotten around him if he really wanted to. I think he was trying to give them every opportunity to just race it out amongst themselves. But coming to the white flag here, Cody McElwain 0.3 of a second over Jeremy Gardner. If he's going to get there, he's going to need a big lap.
He's going to need a hell of a lap to be able to try to make it happen. One to go here at Gateway, race 6 of the Cruisin Classics Next Gen Series. Speed. What a gap. Here we go. Gardner maybe getting a little draft down the backstretch for the final time. Dives it into turn number 3. McElwain up top. He slides up a little bit. Gardner dives down to the inside. We may have a photo finish. Gardner down to the inside. McElwain up top. They door bang off the floor at the wide. McElwain by half a car. Wow, what a race.
Wow, we said that Jeremy Gardner needed a hell of a lap on that last one to get there, and he put that lap together just a little bit short. 0.021, the gap at the line between McElwain and Gardner. And wow, that was a huge effort out of the 57 to even get it as close as he did.
I'm telling you what, that kind of racing right there will make Double L Lucas Lyons speechless right there. I mean, absolutely, what a finish, well deserved. Gardner tried everything he could, like we said, needed a hell of a lap. Well, he got it. It just was not enough. If that line would have been in a Talladega type of situation, Gardner might have got him, might have not. But in the end, the 6th, Cody McElwain, 3rd win of the season with the Invets on the hood, burning it down right on the start-finish line. His teammates sliding in here, coming in here to burn it down a little bit with him. Provo, looks like Alex Cruz jumping up here in the mix as this as well. Actually, that's Jamie Barkus jumping up here in the mix as well. So, little Goat Locker Racing burnout parade right here at the start-finish line. McElwain gets it done, but Daniel, I'm about hoarse after that whole deal right there. Talk us through this last lap because, I mean, one word, honestly, damn.
It really all started over here in 1 and 2. This is coming to the white flag here for the final lap. Jeremy Gardner puts together about a perfect turn 1 and 2. So we watch him go through this turn. Really where he makes up all the time is right here on exit. You can see how well he cuts it down, gets a huge run that even just a lap. That start finish line, I think they actually moved it when they did one of the updates here to this track compared to where it used to be. Moved it a little closer to that turn 4 side, I believe. If that start finish line was just a little bit further down the straightaway, we might have been talking about a 57 win here tonight instead of the 6.
Yeah, I mean, that is just how tight it is right here. But they look like they door banged. Maybe they did. Yeah, there was contact right there. But, I mean, that's just good old-fashioned racing right there. I mean, if you don't door bang coming to the line on the white flag lap, if you don't, try to get every advantage that you can, try to knock the guy sideways to maybe get an advantage. I mean, hell, you're going for a race win. And, and obviously McElwain coming up, giving a congratulations to Gardner for a hell of a finish right there. But, I mean, that's about as clean of a finish as you can possibly ask for with these guys in a situation that they're in. Well, folks, we're going to round up the podium finishers. We'll give you the race results right after this commercial break. Do not go anywhere. You've been watching the Cruisin Classics Next Gen Series with Goat Locker live on V-Speed.
superior quality, ultimate protection, and the highest level of craftsmanship. We make our gloves for the hard worker that wakes up every morning and gives 110%. You deserve the highest quality protective gear that's going to work for you, day in, day out. We know it can be tough deciding what companies to trust for your hard-earned money. It's all in our name. We've mastered our craft to help you master yours. We make our gloves rugged, durable, and designed for you. Whatever the job is, we have you covered. We are your glove station.
A thriving job market and low cost of living, plus a wide range of veteran benefits, make Indiana the perfect place for veterans of the United States military to call home. InVets can help you find that home. We're an organization started by veterans to help former service members transition to civilian life in our state. InVets can help you find the community with the career opportunities, housing, schools, and amenities that fit your lifestyle. To learn more about InVets, visit us at invets.org today.
Well, folks, I'm telling you, I mean, you got all you wanted here tonight with an awesome finish here tonight at Gateway. Cody McElway gets the win in the number 6 InVets car. We'll talk to those guys, all the podium officials here in a minute. Matter of fact, 1, 2, 3, we'll talk to those drivers here in a little bit. Cody McElway gets the win, started 19th, so he was very deep in the field, but gets the win here tonight. Jeremy Gardner, there you seen it right there, 2/100ths of a second. That's how close it was, about a half a car length. Gardner comes home second from starting on the pole. Jamie Barkis gets third. No, not Patrick Dravick. No Lucas Lines. This is Jamie Barkis, so we got him straightened out now, I believe, and at least I hope. But Barkis started 14th. He comes home with third here this evening. Jake Ellenson will finish in the 4th spot. George Jewell gets 5th. Jamie Lemke will get 6th. Chuck Pegleg Phelps, how about this? Didn't talk about him all night long. Started 16th. He comes out of this bad boy with a 7th place finish. So big right there for the big Marine man, Chuck Pegleg Phelps, finishing 7th here tonight. Stewart will finish in the 8th spot with Charles Abert finishing in 9th. And Brian Provo will round out the top 10. First driver, 1 lap down.
Finishing just outside the top 10 is going to be Matt Knights in that 11th position. James Silvers ran up in the top 3 pretty much all night long. Comes home, though, in 12th after the pit strategy did not play out in his favor. James Kaufman coming home in 13th. Alex Cruz in 14th. Bobby Germain 15th. Got Tyler Evans coming home in 16th. Stub Nation, Timothy Stubblefield coming home in 17th. Claire Siskin 18th, Timothy Wilms 19th, Dylan Canova going to round out your top 20 here. And then a few drivers that ran into some problems this evening. Patrick Drabick finishing in 21st, Tyler Justice in 22nd, Jacob Linke in 23rd. Rounding out the field, going to be the 26th of Logan Sturgeon.
Well, what a finish we saw here tonight. Now let's grab your race winner, not waste winner, but race winner, Cody McElwade. Gets it done, started 19th, led 19 laps. Ironically enough, led as many laps as where he started at. Cody, buddy, congratulations on the win. Tell us about that last lap, you and Gardner, and everything that y'all was going through on that last lap.
Yeah, I mean my tires were shot, dude. I probably ran too hard just trying to keep up with the guys up front on that. We took the green there that last run. I think I restarted. I can't remember, 6th, 5th, 7th, somewhere in there, and I just tried to get up through there as best I could, trying to keep up and still save some tire. It was just tough, and they were gone, dude, at the end. I could not get the car to turn. And if Jeremy would have had 10 more feet, he had me. And if he'd have got there one lap earlier, I was toast. But yeah, I was giving it everything I had, and I was probably overdriving it some too. But luckily, we were able to hold him off there at the end. But fantastic race, and yeah, it's a lot of fun. Just shocked that I'm here, honestly.
Well, buddy, I'm going to tell you what. I mean, it was one of the wilder finishes that we've seen this season, and probably one of the wilder finishes that I've seen, broadcasting on iRacing. So congratulations on the win here tonight at Gateway. Congratulations on the win. And you got any sponsors, any shout-outs that you'd like to thank?
Oh, yeah, I'd just like to shout out Lincoln Tech, Save 22. Like to give a shout out to Indiana Department of Veteran Affairs, and then also like to shout out the title sponsor of this series, Cruisin Classics and Nasties, and then I'd also like to give a shout out to my sponsor on the car, InVets, and just like to give y'all a shout out, dude. We appreciate what y'all do, and keep it up.
Well, Cody McElwain, buddy, you get it done here tonight, 3rd win of the season. Buddy, congratulations on the win, and we appreciate your time, and we'll see you in 2 weeks at Darlington if you're not racing in the charity race next week with ARCA Cars at Vegas.
10-4, man. I appreciate you. Y'all have a good night.
Yes, sir. That was Cody McElwain gets the win here tonight. Daniel, you standing by with a man that was about a half a car length short of getting it done here tonight, Jeremy Gardner.
Yeah, standing by with our second place finisher, Jeremy Gardner. Man, that was a hell of a recovery drive you put back on, and you gave it everything you had there on that last lap, trying to get back to the 6 of Cody McElwain. Just tell us a little bit about your mindset working up through the field, and then just a little side note question: were you kind of thinking about using the bumper there on the last lap once you were in striking distance?
Nah. I mean, well, if I had to, yeah. But I mean, hell, I could have walled him right there if I really wanted to. I could have doored the hell out of him. But no, I'm not like that, man. I wanted to put on for a good finish for the broadcast. But no, that was fun. That was hell coming through the field. Some lap cars, dirty hair. God, it's so bad here. I was just trying to save the best I could for about 30 laps, and then I figured it was go time, and I think I called it almost at the right time, just half a car short.
Well, buddy, you definitely gave us a fantastic finish. One of the best finishes that we've seen here this evening. Jake Reeves made the same comment to Cody McElwain, saying one of the best ones we've seen here this season. So congrats on the P2, just a tad short here this evening. But before we let you go, anybody you want to thank or shout out?
Yeah, Pat and Jamie, GLR, Jam Printing Promotions, Cruisin Classics, and Nasties for putting on the series. Of course, y'all guys in the booth, Alexander PCs, and my guys at Premier Racing Setups.
All right. Well, congrats again on the P2. And if you're not running next week during the charity race, we'll see you in 2 weeks at Darlington.
Oh, yeah. Let's go.
That's our second place finisher, Jeremy Gardner. And Jake, I believe you're standing by with the driver formerly known as Patrick Drabick. We'll call him that this evening here. You're standing by with JB Barkas.
Yeah, JB Barkas coming home with 3rd here tonight. JB, if you watch the broadcast back, I'm going to go ahead and tell you right now, do not get mad at us. It was Lucas. It was all Lucas. I'm throwing him under the bus just because I got the opportunity, just because I can. But JB, I mean, buddy, I mean, pretty good ride. I mean, you started 14th. You come up to the podium. You finished 3rd here tonight. Tell us about it.
Yeah, it was definitely a race. Didn't do well in qualifying. Got the wall coming to the line on the second lap, which threw that one out the window. Would have started much better than I did. Got turned on, I think, that second restart we had. Dropped me back to like 21st or something like that. And just trying to be patient and things just kind of worked out. Got tires on it that last restart we had, and was able to drive it up to third. So it's a good run. I'll take it. Kind of hard to believe this is only the second time I've talked to you guys all year. So kind of forgot how to do this.
Yeah, but I wouldn't catch you out at any point because JB Barkus can obviously finish up on the podium at any point in time and also get the win at any point in time as well. But JB, buddy, congratulations on the third place finish. Appreciate your time. And before we let you go, you got any sponsors or any shout outs?
Absolutely. Start with you guys. Love the job you do each and every week, every night of the week, pretty much we got going now. So can't thank y'all enough. Got to thank iRacing. iRacing, they do a lot for the veterans that are getting these sim rigs, and I really don't think they get talked about as much as probably some of the other sponsors that help out with that do. But iRacing is very generous with what they do for these guys. They're getting their first year service for free. They're giving them quite a bit of money to buy content so that they can get started. And we can't thank them enough for what they're doing. And, 12 rigs we've given away now, and iRacing's been there for every one of them. So can't thank them enough. Got to thank MK Fire Designs. I actually had them on the truck on Friday nights. Glad to have them aboard. Sim Motion. And can't forget Cruisin Classics. I mean, they're the ones that make this go on Wednesday nights. They've been here for pretty much the beginning of GLR. So can't thank them enough for what they do.
Well, Jamie Barkus coming home with a third here tonight. Jamie, buddy, appreciate your time. Congratulations on the third place finish. We'll see you 2 weeks at Darlington which I would think you one of the damn head honchos here. We'll probably see you next week for the fundraiser race at Vegas and the ARCA cars.
Looking forward to that too, and hopefully, everybody's doing a really great job. We are making our way towards our goal. Still got a little bit of ways to go, so not time to slack off now. Really need to get that stuff shared with friends and family because it's only going to get so far with the folks here in the league. So we really need some outside help with that. So again, let's spread that link far and wide, and let's get up to our goal of $4,000.
Absolutely. JB Barkus comes home with third here tonight, buddy. Congratulations, buddy. We'll see you here in a week or 2 weeks. We'll see you there, buddy.
Sounds good. Thanks, guys.
That was JB Barkus comes home with a third here this evening. And that's pretty much going to do it. I mean, Daniel, buddy, any final thoughts on on a wild one here tonight?
And you called it. It was a wild one indeed that we saw here this evening at Gateway. Just an absolutely amazing finish. And, not much more you could ask for out of that race. You mentioned it, too. Next week, we've got the charity race. Make sure that y'all check that out. Check out the Goat Locker socials. There's a lot of cool stuff that you can do to support, even if you're not out here racing. But in 2 weeks, man, I'm going to tell you what, Jake, I am jacked up for this one. We are going to God's gift to stock car racing, the Lady in Black, Darlington, South Carolina. I don't care what anybody says. Nobody will convince me otherwise. Darlington is the best racetrack in NASCAR, best racetrack on iRacing. Point blank, period. Ain't nobody going to change my mind. This is the one that I've been looking forward to.
Talladega. Well, you gotta write Lucas Lines. You ain't even nowhere close over there with that Watkins Glen BS. Anyway, that's beside the point. But Darlington, it is a good one. It is the granddaddy, I guess you could say, of super speedways. That's what they always call it. The Lady in Black, the track too tough to tame. Is going to host the Cruisin Classics Next Gen Series October 15th, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, live here on V-Speed. It will be a damn good one. Well, folks, you can't get much more than what you got here tonight. It was a blast. You got a photo. Literally a damn near photo finish. If Gardner, like he said, if he'd had another so-and-so amount, he would have had this sucker in the bag. But Cody McElwain gets it done, wins 3 on the season. He's going to ride the momentum into, obviously, the fundraiser race next week and also riding into Darlington in 2 weeks. Folks, that's going to do it for this broadcast. Got to thank all of our great sponsors, Jam Printing and Promotions for the Jam Printing and Promotions Poll Award. Obviously, Lincoln Tech Save 22, MK Fire Designs, in Vance Nasty's Restaurant Bar Glove Station, and cannot forget about Cruisin Classics, the title sponsor of the Cruisin Classics Next Gen Series, also Above the Yellow Line podcast, and cannot forget about iRacing, because if it wasn't for iRacing, we wouldn't be here. That's just plain and simple. So got to give all the good love to iRacing for everything that they do each and every single day of the week, dealing with all the updates and all the content and all the good stuff. Shout out to the drivers for always putting on a fantastic show, and the fans for always coming out big old numbers, interacting with us in the live chat. And Patrick Dravick, Jamie Barkus, Eddie Smith, all of them allowing us to come up here on a Wednesday night and be ourselves and entertain you, the fans. For old Double L, Lucas Slides, and also for Daniel Cunningham, I'm the Redneck Announcer, Jake Reeves, said as always, say, be safe, be kind, be fast. And we'll see you next week, baby. Fundraiser race, the big one here with Go Locker. It will be at Vegas with the ARCA cars. And if you're not into that one, you're not into the race, we will see you 2 weeks right there at the Granddaddy. Just like Daniel Cunningham said, this is God's gift of stock cars, Darlington Raceway. Keep up with everything on V-Speed. Keep up with everything going on with Go Locker. We'll see you next week at Vegas.